Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Kalika and this is day 2 of being sick. Hooray! I crawled out of bed to make this video and I'll be crawling back into it once this is done. If you've been sending positive vibes, please keep doing it because I'm going to Canada in 4 days and I don't want to feel like this. But anyway, you're going to be a craftier person after watching this video. Got what they asked for twice. I used to wait tables at an upscale restaurant that was known to be the place to have your holiday or office parties. Great money if you got the right group. The menus were preset, the wine and liquor was preset, and it was all auto-graded at 18%. All of it was in the contract the host signed pre-event. Usually the host would make themselves known fairly on so you would know who to talk to if there was an issue or who to give the check to at the end of the night. One night, I'm splitting a party of 30 to 40 with another server. This event had top tier food and mid-level wine and booze. Very nice. A small group of 5 or 6 people arrive a bit ahead of schedule. 2 guys and 3 to 4 women. Not a problem. It's actually nicer if they slowly roll in so we can get drinks started. I walk over, introduce myself and the other waiter and ask for drinks. Now, this was back in the early 2000s and chads weren't a thing yet, but the 2 guys were the chattiest chads. If they could have popped their collars in their suits, I'm sure these guys would have found a way. Super Chad 1. Me and my bro are going to start a round of Johnny Walker Blue and these ladies are going to have this expensive red wine. Super Chad 2 turned to the girls. Once you have Johnny Blue, you can't drink anything else. It changes you, bruh. If you like, I can put those on a separate tab. The event contract has Johnny Walker Black, but not Blue, and the red wine selection for tonight is the less expensive wine. This is our party, just get me what I ordered and don't question me again. Who do you think you are? You're some waiter. We have MBAs, just get us our drinks. I walk over to the other waiter and tell him we're in for a hell of a night, but the check should be nice. For those that don't know, Johnny Walker Blue is 3 to 4 times the cost of Johnny Black, so one round of drinks for these people is over $100. The whole night goes exactly as we thought. Nothing was good enough, the appetizers were crap, the food was horrible, not enough bread, too many bread plates, drinks were taking too long. Why do some people have food and others don't? It's 40 people, man, it takes a minute to get that much food out. To make it worse, Chads and co are all over the place, moving seats and making others move so they can talk to who they want. This makes serving hell because we did everything by seat number. Surprisingly, most of the table was normal, not entitled people and who knew that waiters were people too. They were impressed by the food and graciously ordered the drinks that were in the contract. One older gentleman at the other end of the table from the Chads apologised for their behaviour, saying, "They might have fancy degrees and good jobs, but you can't teach class." Love that guy. Finally, they're winding down, and after drinking almost a full bottle of Johnny Blue along with the other food and drinks, they have a very hefty check, and the other waiter and I are excited to get paid. We start picking up the dessert plates and asking for last drink requests. The nice older guy at the end of the table says to bring him the check. Not wanting any more interaction with the Chads than necessary, I bring it to him. I tell him I can take care of it whenever and go about clearing the table. A few minutes later, he calls me over. Maybe there was a mistake in ringing up the drinks? There was almost $600 for Johnny Blue when the contract I signed only included Johnny Black, and there are some single glasses of wine that are different from what we agreed upon. No mistake, sir. That is what was ordered and drank. He's being awesome, and I feel bad. Why did you give the drinks to them when we clearly had a contract? I apologise, sir. They told me this was their party, and since I was just a waiter to shut up and do what I was told, so I did. I'm sorry I took them at their word. I point them out and he calls them over. What follows was the singularly greatest ass chewing I have ever been witness to. He goes on about how I was doing something nice, but apparently that wasn't enough. About how horrible their behaviour was that night and how he's ashamed for them. But my favourite line was just how you see a person's true colours and how they treat people that work for them, and they had shown theirs. Then he calls me back over. Apparently I thought this was my party. Guess I was wrong. This is their party, and they'll be taking care of the check. Oh, and up the gratuity up to 25%. You've earned it. He turns around and walks off, leaving the Chads with the check. All in all, it was about $3,000. I have never seen 2 grown men look so defeated. Wow, that nice old man is a legend and taught them a very good lesson. Other hostess wants me to stay at the host stand and not buzz tables. I comply. This is happening as I type this. I hosted at a previous restaurant for 2.5 years and pretty much know the ins and outs of the role of a host. I recently moved and just started hosting at a new restaurant. I'm 20, and the host I'm working for tonight is 17. So I completed my training, though I will yield the iPad rotation to whoever has been here the longest. So my coworker, let's call her Hannah, is in charge, and so while she tells me where to seat people and plays on her phone otherwise, I am left to bus tables, seat, wipe and reset tables, etc. The other hosts I've worked with usually split the work equally with me, but it's whatever. I don't mind doing it all to pass the time. Hannah gets a to-go order over the phone and puts it in. Now typically, you wait until the to-go customer arrives before grabbing it so that you can help out, do other host duties. But Hannah decides to go and wait in the kitchen for around 20 minutes or so until her to-go is ready. Our dinner rush is just ending, so people are getting up and I'm running around bussing tables while Hannah is in the kitchen waiting on that to-go. I literally have no tables besides the ones that need to be bussed, so I'm making sure that no one is walking in and I go to quickly clean some off. When I bought some dirty dishes and cups to the kitchen, Hannah tells me to not bus tables and wait at the host stand to ensure every guest that comes in will be greeted. Yeah, I get that, but I need tables to seat them at, and if they aren't coming in, I'm gonna do my job and bus those tables. But she insists in a more rude than usual tone that I need to stay up there and not bus tables, so I say okay and stand up at the host stand. I play on my phone, text some friends, browse Reddit, the works. No one comes in. Meanwhile, so many tables are getting up and need to get bussed. My manager comes up and lets me know when Hannah gets back up there, I'm cut and free to leave. Literally 30-ish minutes from when she first left the host stand, Hannah comes back up with this tiny to-go order and realizes the restaurant is a mess. I let her know I'm cut and clocked out. I'm gone now. TLDR, Hostess with more experience tells me not to bus tables despite the dinner rush being over and no one coming in. I get cut and leave her to a dozen horrible messy tables. Edit. Being cut means free to clock out and go home. Restaurants rarely have specific out times. And an update. I spoke to another coworker over text about Hannah and he let me know that the managers have been aware of her laziness and behaviour for a while, which is why she is usually only scheduled 1 or 2 shifts a week, which he complained to me earlier in the night. We are really short on hosts, so I'm assuming that's why they don't fire her. The servers I was working with all saw me bussing like crazy before the to-go order when she was still up at the host stand on her phone, and a few of them actually helped me out and thanked me. So I feel like even if Hannah was to speak up, I have enough people to back me up. Just minding my own business. A few minutes ago, I was putting fuel in my truck when a luxury SUV pulled up beside me. It was sparkling silver, with big rims, and it had paper license plates on it. This thing was brand new. The driver began fueling while loudly talking on her cell phone. This particular service station has an uncommon layout. Gas pumps are at the front and diesel pumps are off to the side. Because the diesel pumps are separate and clearly marked in about a dozen places, the pumps have black handles instead of the green handles that you'd see on combination pumps. Her SUV is not available with a diesel engine yet, and we're at the diesel pumps. I stepped over and said, "Excuse me, miss." With a very annoyed look on her face, she put the phone to her chest and said, "Ugh, mind your own frickin' business." So I did. I nodded and said, "Yes, ma'am." She shot me a nasty look as if she was mocking someone saying thanks. Then my pump clicked. She started loudly telling the person on the phone about the dirty cowboy at the gas station as I left. What she didn't know was that I have a pump in the back of my truck, an empty 55-gallon barrel that normally has diesel in it, and I'm not in a hurry to get anywhere. I would have gladly helped her out for free, and that diesel won't go to waste. But here I am, back on the road, minding my own business. Wow, that lady is gonna have a hard time in a couple of miles, I reckon. One of the comments on the story suggested that OP try and contact the dealership and let them know, so she won't be able to claim insurance on it or anything because it was her own fault. And I think that would serve her just right. Is it safe now? Back in the 90s, my father went to get his first USA driver's license. After a couple of hours of waiting, written tests and paperwork at the DMV, he's finally taken for the driving part of the test. Prior to the driving test, the DMV employee has to run a safety inspection on the vehicle. My father had borrowed my uncle's Lincoln Continental, and this car had a chrome trim they used to put on the side of cars back in the day. The stereotypical bitter old DMV employee tells my dad she couldn't take that car out in the road because it's about 6 inches of the trim on the passenger side was coming off, and that's unsafe and a potential hazard on the road. My father was pretty frustrated after a long day in the DMV, so he grabs the loose end of the trim and rips the whole thing off the passenger side door and throws it in the back seat. He shuts the rear door and in his broken English asks the lady, "Is it safe now?" The lady shook her head in an annoyed fashion, but had no excuse now, so she took him for the test. My dad got his first Illinois driver's license, and my uncle's car got its trim fixed. Okay, so that's all for r/MaliciousCompliance. I really hope you did enjoy it. As always, if you do want to see more content like this, then please do subscribe. My Twitter, Discord, and Patreon links are in the description, and any support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!